you're in the Olympics where men are fighting women. Tell me what you were thinking when you were watching that.
I didn't know, man. It's one of them kind of things.
Or you didn't know at the time.
I didn't know, but then just reading the comments afterwards.
But you had an idea watching.
It looked a little odd. It looked kind of strange. Okay, and then
you weren't sure, but something was off.
Right. It was like, okay. I mean, if I had a little league team, I would stop the game and I would say, Mr. Referee, can you check that dude?
We need to protest that.
Can you check that dude's birth certificate? Let me make sure that he was born the right year, because he awful big boned it.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Fully Loaded. I'm here with Cris Carter. I'm Shawn Mike. I need you to like, subscribe, share. You don't want to miss what he's talking about. I promise you. It'll be entertaining, it'll be insightful, and it'll be real, which is real important. So get that to other people that you know, because I promise you, there's things you're watching that this might be a hell of a lot better than that. All right, Cris, I'm going to start with DK Metcalf, Mike McDonald being excited about the fighting, him swinging his helmet around, preseason football, and I was near you at a scrimmage recently where you're like it's people get excited and everybody's going, which you know. Talk to us about the preseason. What is the dynamic amongst those NFL teams? I mean, you're competing, you're trying to walk us through what when you see it, what comes to mind for you as a NFL Hall of Fame guy, been through plenty of camps?
Yeah, it's still an edgy situation because the coaches are pushing you to the edge, and there's such severe competition that it's always edgy. Everybody you're going against is fighting for their livelihood, so they have a chip on their shoulder. They're edgy, and the only way that you can reach greatness is pushing it right to the edge. And in that, people are going to try you mentally and physically. Now, people don't realize that when you go to camp, there's 90 players, but we're not a team yet.
Okay.
So my mentality is, unless I've played with you, unless you are a starter, man, we are out here, everybody for themselves.
Okay.
And I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to protect my career. And I'm not going to do anything that would jeopardize your livelihood or your career unless you breach our agreement.
Okay.
So I'm not going to block you low. I'm not going to crack back on you. Okay. I'm not going to, when you try to jump, if you have me covered, you jump and I pull you down by your jersey from the back and everything. I'm not going to do those things. So if you have a coach that allows you to be an edgy football team, and now with the lack of contact in the NFL, now it just becomes a media circus. So now those two players have a problem, not just because they're playing football, but they got a problem because we're men. Like when you take a helmet, 12 to 15 pounds, and you are as big as DK Metcalf, and you try to use it as a weapon and hit someone with it, I'm just sorry is not going to take care of that, because one blow could end someone's career. So in football, I do believe in being competitive, but I'm trying to avoid being combative because it does eat away at the fiber of the team. But there will be moments. There will be moments where you will have to stand up or be run over. Now, I don't think that was the situation, but I'm just trying to give you a full spectrum of what happens in football locker rooms, in college, and in the pros. And especially now, because you don't have a lot of practices, you don't have physicality, everybody's running around in shorts like they're a superstar and everything, and guys get pissed off. And it's like, man, I can't wait till we can hit them. Well, you can't hit too much now in practice. So it's hard to force your will on people in football
Which
like
you
it used to
be able to do.
Yes.
You used to walk in that camp and force your will on people.
Yes. Yeah. It's not that way anymore.
You're 90 to start. When does it start to become a team during preseason? Walk us through, like, you come in with 90. Like, I like the way you said these aren't, unless I played with you, you're a starter. I'm here, you're there. We ain't a team. We're a bunch of dudes.
Yes.
When does it start to become a team in the preseason?
Now with them having 3 preseason games, then you had all the OTAs. Now you finally start seeing people in pads and stuff. You're like, oh, okay, that guy got a good chance. Okay. And then the coaches, you start seeing the 2 deep. 53-man roster. You can't be too far off the 2 deep. I tell dudes with training camp, man, don't loan nobody no money, man. Dude might not be here tomorrow, bro. Dude ain't in the 2 deep. Check the depth chart. If he is not in the 2 deep, he is not going to be on the team. Most likely, practice squad, younger players have better chance than veteran players. So we are not a team. After that second preseason game where they have already made a significant cut, you can start looking around and you can start figuring it out. Like, okay, they're going to keep 6 wide receivers. I'm like, okay, me, Jake Reed, Randy Moss, okay. The other 3 spots, they up in the air. Like, so you can start sizing it up. And when you get to, I would say, the second or third week, and then also your younger players are starting to come around. They start feeling a little more comfortable. They're not as scared. The veterans start taking them under their wing, molding them so they can be good pros. At the end of August, man, you got to, like, you kind of break the training camp. You start doing more bonding things. You start game planning. Okay, if we get in this formation, we're going to utilize him doing this. Okay, this guy right here, he does this better. And you start not running plays. You start game planning.
Got it.
And you start talking about the personnel. It becomes a little more familiar. And then you know your marquee players. And then you're just filling in the other players to your marquee players. And then you're, excuse me, you're continuing to develop, and draft players, hoping that the players in the last couple of years have developed more, that they're making an impact on your roster.
Got it. So it becomes a team. Jordan Love signed a big contract. $220 million. How long has he been a starter in the NFL?
1 year. He had a good half a year, but he's been 1 year.
When's the last year you played in the NFL?
2002.
What was your biggest contract in the NFL?
$6 million a year, $18 million.
Okay.
$24 million contract, 4 years.
Which is a lot of money. I mean, not compared to, but when you got it, did you think this is a lot
1998, 99, 2000, 2001. That was my contract.
If I would have told you in 98 that in 2024 that guys have been making this kind of money, would that have made sense to you in 98?
Yes.
It would have.
Yes.
You could see it.
And it's just now starting to become an international game.
Yeah.
And the overall popularity, like, you could see printing money. You could see the game just continuing to grow. And you could see that from a marketing standpoint, they were starting to take the helmets off the players. So you could see. I had played in games in Tokyo, Germany, London. Like, I've been all around playing football. So I could see where it was going. And then that time they were talking about, we're going to have international teams. We're going to be like, right, okay. Then we expanded. Yeah. We expanded in the United States. Oh, yeah, London's going to get a franchise. Yeah, okay, right. The Toronto's going to get a franchise. Oh, yeah, right. And then we still have the international series where we're playing around the world. So I'm not that surprised because we had labor peace. We got a good product, and we got a long-term TV. Like, none of these sports can be successful without long-term TV commitments. And no one has a better TV contract than the NFL.
So 15 years before your last contract, what was a wide receiver like you making in the NFL? Rob, just roughly, like, how much of a difference did it? When you start, how many years playing the league?
16.
16. So when you started, I know your contract wasn't as big. But
when I started in the league, I think there might have been maybe one receiver making $1 million.
Okay, and then you went to 6. That many years later, you were making 6 a year. Okay. So what happens 15, 20 years from now?
They're making 50. Because the business model, it's no different than insurance. How much do you think insurance agents are making
5, 6, 7 time 10x. Yeah, it's obnoxious.
Yeah, it's a good business.
100%.
It's recession proof. It's pandemic proof. It's idiot proof because we got a lot of idiots owning teams. It's idiot proof, dog. No. It's just a matter of how much money you're going to make. Even if you're a terrible business person, you're going to make $200 to $400 million. You're going to clear every year NFL. Even if you're a terrible business person.
You have no idea what you're doing. You can't run into the ground.
No.
It's the NFL.
No.
That's the same thing. A guy told me about insurance a long time ago. Incompetence has been tried for 100 years. You can't screw it up.
Yes.
So once you get yourself one, you're good.
Right. When you're making money when you're losing,
yeah,
you got revenue sharing. If it don't sell out, so what? It's selling out in Dallas. The Giants are selling out. The Jets, you get paid. Revenue sharing.
You don't even have the expenses for them being there.
Man, the Bengals is getting revenue sharing on Joe Burrow's jersey, Jamar Chase's jersey, around the league, just like Dak Prescott, Patrick. Their model is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
He deserved that kind of money after a year starting the NFL. Jordan Love.
Man, listen.
If you were to GM,
I've had this theory, man. I have never met a person that was overpaid. Okay. The dude that picks up my trash, he need a raise.
Yeah, I like that.
Every person who overpaid. What is such a thing? Mm-hmm. What is such a thing? If you got such a skill that your boss decide in my business plan, I can't operate unless I got him or her. And what's the asking price? Ain't nobody got no gun to the Packers. Don't even have no ownership. They owned by the people.
Correct.
Skills, man. That's what forced people to pay you when you got skills. He was not even good until like week number 8. And then week number 8 to week number 17, he was one of the best in the league.
So his skill set warrants a big ass payday.
Yeah, but it's not his fault that they allowed Aaron Rodgers to sit there so that now when the kid became a starter, guess what? He only had 2 years left on his contract.
That's true, too.
So the kid was in the driver's seat, and he drove it. The kid's no dummy.
He definitely drove it. No, he is no dummy. Bronny, which first of all, what do you think is going to happen with Bronny this year? Where's he going to play when the NBA season kicks off?
Well, I think that he will see some time on the NBA floor during the season. Yes.
So when they say he's not,
I think just because of injury, I just think because of injuries, it's a long season. Okay. But I do think that he will spend 90% of his time in the G League developing, which I think he should.
Yeah. And based on what you've seen, G League, do you think he's got a legitimate chance to be to be an NBA guy, to be a however many year, whatever that means, make a roster, not be in a G League, be in a team, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 years?
Right. Well, this is the thing about Bronny. Bronny can really, and this is why it's hard. It's got nothing to do with his dad. Mm-hmm. He can only be a certain type of player. Okay. Like, forget that he's LeBron's son. Mm-hmm. But if you have a resume like his, or if you have a body type like his, or if you have a game like his, you can only be one player. Mm-hmm. And that is a lockdown defender and a spot up jump 3-point shooter. Mm-hmm. That's the only model for like his body type, his athleticism. If you look at, him on steroids is a Derek White of Boston. Okay. Now, if you look at his career in college, like he wasn't a great player starting out, but he built into something, and he was a little bit older. If you're older now, you played 3 or 4 years in college. Yeah. Now you're ancient. But we didn't get a chance to see that, so that's going to have to develop. But when you only got one portal you can go through, because as a player, like I could have been several different versions of myself in the league. Now, the Vikings maximize my skill set. But when you can only be one thing, dog, it becomes very, very hard because you only got one way to make it. And his margin of error is just so, like if he does not develop a great knockdown shot, people ain't going to respect him, they'll just play off of him. Like he's going to have to be able to lock people down defensively.
Kenny?
He's got the skill set.
Okay.
Like he got over a 40-inch vertical leap. He's got a nice body type. He's got the mentality for it. So, yes, it can happen. But when people talk about, oh, can he be a pro? Oh, can he make it? Can he pitch in the major leagues? Okay, what type of player can his body mind type be? Well, he can be 4 different players. He can be 3. But when you can be 1, it becomes very, very difficult. And I'm not trying to act as if I'm some basketball expert, but
it's his body. That's who he is.
That's who he is.
That's all right. That's who he is. I'm going to read you a quote. So, well, first of all, the men won the Olympic gold. What a great game. We saw it. Steph Curry, who I love watching Steph Curry play, period, end of story. And literally have forever. Bron, the whole crew. What do you think? They won the gold medal, so I get that. And I don't, from a coaching standpoint, is this whole like they could just roll the ball out and win because they had those athletes? Or talk to us about Steve Kerr and all them guys and Lou and Spoelstra. Like, what's your take on that and the coaching staff and the job they did or didn't do with the team?
Well, for one, USA Basketball is never going to get any credit, but they really are a great organization. Okay. They have a system, and they start tagging the players, I think, when they're teens. Okay. And they even have a team play, a teen team, a U19 team, and that then
plays around the world.
Yes,
competes. Got it.
So they target these players and get them in the system, and the coaches become familiar with them. And that was the kind of thing with the WNBA, was that they were going with women that had been in the system and had gone and represented the United States and won gold. So I do think that they have a very, very good program. It's a good mixture of pro coaches, our best pro coaches, and some college coaches. I think because of our best players over the last, Durant, this is his 4th gold medal. So our best players over the last 16, 20 years after Jordan and that regime came up, this next generation said, it's important to us. USA Basketball made it important. We knew that the world was catching up to us. If you look at the last 5 NBA regular season MVP, been foreigners, so that's very impressive. When you watch the games, you start to see that it's still a team sport. Talent does help, but chemistry. And you start playing with guys, 2 or 3 years, you start understanding them. Then when you play against the best in the world, U.S. team, then their deficiencies aren't exploited as much because we play together.
All the time.
All the time. Man, you go to the pickup game, you and your crew, you get out of your truck, you're like, okay, all right, me, him. Who y'all playing against? Me, little bit, Sleepy over there, him, my homeboy. Oh, yeah, wait, man, get the dude with the wine bottle. Come on, bro, yeah, remember we played with you last, yeah, come on over here. Bro, we're going to have our work cut out for us.
But it ain't the first time you've been on the court together. Those are my guys.
No, and
I know where you're going to be. You know what I'm thinking. Yeah.
It's team. Remember Villanova beat Georgetown? Like, on that night, when you put that thing together,
better team.
Man, thedes beating New England. Of course, New England's better. New England's going to win 19 out of 20 times. But I just happened to watch on the 20th.
That night.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's what makes sports so special, that you can be outmatched and still win.
So before the gold medal game, Brandy Cole, who's Jayson Tatum's mom, posted, he's not injured, but if you find out what's going on, please let me know. It's unacceptable, and it makes no sense written in capital letters. First of all, why did Jayson Tatum not play as much in the Olympic run? Matchups, what was the, or did he play as much as he should have played? Like, these are the best guys in the entire world, so.
Sometime, man, even when you're in the room and you're one of the best, there's still levels there.
Correct.
So when you, in the gold medal game, all right, we started At forward, LeBron James and Kevin Durant.
Correct.
Now, Kevin Durant, he's been there 4 times. He hasn't always been like the lead dog, but he's served his time. And he and Steph are the best 2 scorers in the world. So he's starting it forward. LeBron has the body and the girth when they do more switch up. He can switch 3, 4, 5 positions on the field and is a better defender overall than Jayson Tatum. And I think Jayson Tatum, to me, looks a little bit tired. And in the workouts, he's not as good as those guys. And that happens. Like, he's all NBA.
Yeah.
But he can't stop Kevin Durant. He can't match up LeBron. Like, if they go pick and roll with the 4 and the 5, he's not a good switcher. It's not a good matchup. So I would say it's a little embarrassing. But also in the finals, he wasn't the MVP. Even when he wasn't going well, Boston was doing all right.
100%.
I think that, be careful. Thinking like you are the next heir apparent to LeBron and Steph and all, like those are big shoes to walk in. And I think that he still has some growing as far as his game, and you can see the difference between.
He's young.
He's still very young.
He's young. He's got a lot of Olympics left.
Yes, but if our best 2 forwards on the Olympic team happen to be LeBron and KD, and they are playing 30-something minutes.
So what if you were in the locker room and there's a football team and somebody's mom was on there posting about your team getting ready to go to a Super Bowl? You wouldn't care, would care, think differently about it?
Well, this is the thing. These guys have grown up in this culture of social media. Like LeBron, they have said everything about LeBron before the game, after the game, LeBron's mom there. KD, the same. Played 1 year at Texas. KD got caught up in some of that, having a Twitter account. It was a false account. Was that him?
Yeah.
Like, he got caught in some of that hype. So they've experienced it all. And I'm sure their overall experience will help Jayson Tatum. But when you look at it and you just call it what it is, like, even though they're the world champs, even though he's all NBA, he is not as good of an all-around player, especially as KD and LeBron, especially on the international stage.
Well, what if, which we didn't, social media was as prevalent today as it was when you were your 3rd, 4th, 5th year in the league, and your mom went on and posted something about your playing time, about the coach's decision as it pertains to you?
Well, I would adapt. Just like, we adapted to certain things. It wasn't the internet, but we adapted to other things that the 70s and stuff, they didn't have. So just like the next generation is going to adapt, to me, it's not really a fair question to me because I had a brother that played in the NBA. Okay. Like, my mom knew better.
What if your mom did it to your brother?
Like,
she wouldn't have.
My mom knew better, but I think that when you have achieved what he's achieved, I think that she didn't have any other outlet. So that was her last resort because she's not getting answered. He's not telling her anything.
But what does she think she would accomplish in your mind? If you're guessing, what is she's just venting? She's just frustrated? She thinks somebody's going to read it and go, oh, hell, I didn't realize that.
Well, a lot of times these parents, they throw themselves into the story to think that, like, people really care about the parent. They don't.
Which they don't, no.
They just care about Jayson Tatum. Right. Like, what's going on with him and everything.
The athlete
And then now she's bringing even more negative attention. This is not Little League.
Which she can't want.
The dude is making $250 million. The game is over. What are you crying about?
No doubt.
You in Paris, somebody else paying for it. And be careful because you might not want to know the truth.
Yeah. And Halliburton standing next to him screaming. He's a pretty damn good player, cheering everybody on, excited.
He better be.
He was. Like, I'm good, I'm young, I'm happy, I'm getting paid. What a great experience.
Right.
I'm watching Curry, KD, Bron. I'm good.
I think that the reason why they didn't have Jaylen Brown on the team because Jaylen Brown is better than Jayson Tatum.
I would agree with that. And Jaylen Brown should have been.
Now that makes sense to me.
He should have been a damn team getting a gold medal.
And it's like, hey man, do we think he was just the Finals MVP? And I think that regardless of them being drafted in back-to-back years, both of them are paid, but there's always, a yearning for respect. Mm-hmm. Like even when you at the highest respect, you said like, there's still more respect out there to get. And what Jaylen was able to do, and then not get invited to the Olympics when they had a real, they needed a forward, they needed a two-way player.
Plus, he's a dude, like he's a dog. Like that's a guy that is a competitor. Is there any? If you're breaking down anything and you put, that's a guy that don't want to lose,
right? Absolutely,
at all costs.
Yes, and I think he's a better player than Jayson Tatum. And the last couple of years in the playoffs, he's been better than Tatum. So for me, that's why they added the guard compared to adding him, because that never made any sense to me.
Staying on the Olympics, and I don't understand this one, so I need you to help me out. Jonathan Owens married to Simone Biles. She wins the gold medals, tons of them, because she's unbelievable. He wears the gold medals in a picture, and then people shred him and attack him for wearing his wife's gold medals. And she don't take no shit. She blasts back and be like, y'all gonna, did you see that? He had the gold medals on. They're taking a picture. He's happy about his wife. He's out there supporting his wife. He gets permission to leave camp to be there to support his wife.
Right.
And everybody's,
what else are people gonna say though? But this dude is successful. His wife's one of the most popular athletes.
So
came back from that mental health episode that she had, where she would have lost it all.
No doubt.
All the expectations in Tokyo, not to live up to it, only got one medal there, and then she comes back, and now she comes back. Guess what? She's married to an NFL guy. Well, geez, really? And then the NFL teams let him off to be able to support her. Well, really? Well, what else can I say? People are so miserable. People don't have nothing better to do. They don't have nothing better to do. But, okay, so now I'm wrong because my wife is 7-time gold medalist.
I love and respect her, and I'm proud of her. And I'm taking a picture with her with the gold medals because I'm so damn proud of her. Now, here's the funny thing. You're in the Olympics where men are fighting women because they say, hey, I'm going to argue XY, XX chromosome. I'm born a man, and I'm going to compete. Did you watch any of those boxing?
I did.
You did not?
I did. I did.
Okay, tell me what you were thinking when you were watching that.
I didn't know, man. It's one of them kind of things.
But you didn't know at the time?
I didn't know, but then just reading the comments afterwards.
But you had an idea watching.
It looked a little odd. It looked kind of strange. Okay, and then
you weren't sure, but something was off.
Right. It was like, okay. I mean, if I had a little league team, I would stop the game and I would say, Mr. Referee, can you check that?
We need to protest that.
Can you check that dude's birth certificate? Let me make sure that he was born the right year, because he awful big boned it.
But in baseball, you most likely aren't going to beat somebody too, because now you're in a sport that, I guess when it was swimming to me, I didn't like it, and I think it's unfair, and I think it's disrespectful to women. But you're swimming in different lanes. You're straight up beating the shit out of a female as a man.
Yeah, I don't, physical competition.
Yeah.
All right? God gave women the ability that nothing else have to birth a human being. Mm-hmm. Okay? So they have incredible stuff, like no matter what. Mm-hmm. God gave men physical endurance. Mm-hmm. Even when you try to switch me up, you have memory.
Correct. I still got it.
I still have portions of that. Mm-hmm. And then now, how can it be equal if I happen to get into a physical competition that now I have a huge advantage because of who I used to be? Like, that part to me unless there's some type of test to be able to measure these types of things. Because what sports is about is being fair. Mm-hmm. Like, it's about being fair. And you even see that growing up. Like, I saw this article about female wrestler. And when she was 7, 8 years old, she wrestled on the boys' wrestling team because they didn't have a girls' wrestling team. Okay. You hear about Caitlin Clark. When she was little, she played on the boys' basketball team for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. All those things are fine.
100%.
Because we know it.
Correct.
But when you start switching and then you start getting into physical competition where I was made to be more dominant than you, like, I'm not smart enough. I hope someone figures it out. I do believe this, that everyone should be free to live out the best life that they can live.
100%.
But in doing that, you have to understand, like the rest of us, like, can we create some type of system of rules or something to still make sure it's fair?
What if that was your daughter?
If it's my daughter competing or if it's my daughter that wants to switch?
No, it's your daughter competing. She's a female. She's your daughter, born a daughter, is a female. She's a boxer. She's excited. She has her Olympic dream. She's worked her ass off her whole life, and she gets in the ring, and there's a guy. He's born a guy. They do the testing, XXXY. This federation said they don't approve it. Olympics did. As a father of your daughter, who's in the ring competing with other women, supposedly, what's your feeling on the whole thing?
I wouldn't have the best feeling, but I do believe I train for the day that Billy Badass shows up. Mm-hmm. I train for the day that man who got switched to a woman, and I'm the one gonna put their lights out. Yeah. Like, now my mentality is different though. Yeah. Like, I'm the one that's not gonna make no excuses. Like, I'm the one going to be the answer to the problem.
Okay.
Like, I try to tell my kids, man, everywhere I've been since the second grade, whoever had my position, he was getting ready to get fired. Mm-hmm. He's getting ready to lose getting ready to lose his job. Mm-hmm. You know, so I do believe in that. But I believe in a level playing field so that we can all experience being, and I want to be tested against the best. I want to go against the fire. And if that's what they have to do to be able to beat me, that's what they're going to have to be able to do.
But biologically, as bad as your daughter's attitude could be, you're still asking her to fight a dude. We can spin. And by the way, I want everybody to be happy too. Go live your life. Do what you want, believe in what you want, but the minute you step into that ring.
And then I tell her, you know something, sweetie? This world, it ain't fair.
Yeah. But
it ain't fair.
People can get significantly hurt.
Yes.
Fighting.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the thing that really got my attention.
Me too.
When she said what we know, because I had a very short-lived boxing career. Mm-hmm. And it was a summer, and my basketball team, there was something going on with my basketball team. So at the community center, they had a great boxing coach. We had all these Golden Glove champions. His name's Harold, Big Harold, driving around the station wagon. The guys running down the highway and everything. Big Harold driving in the car.
My man.
Yeah. So he was like, man, you should try boxing. You're a good athlete and everything. And I was like, okay, well, how long is it before you can spar? He's like, you got to have 3 good training sessions, then I'll let you spar and everything. I'm 12 years old. Man, okay, so I said, okay, I'm going to give you a week and everything. Get the 3 days in. Go to sparring. Man, I'm sparring this little white kid named Shane. Man, Shane hit me in my nose, and I got a big nose. And I had a hair gear on, man. He hit me in my nose, man, like 3 times in the first round. I mean, like, cat. I was like, that was different. That was different. And watching me trying to be athletic, sparring him for 3 rounds, and him being a trained boxer, I realized immediately, even though I was tough, I didn't have the technique.
Correct.
like that he had. Now I might be able to beat Shane in a street fight, but this
not-
thing called
not
boxing, man, like, man, that dude hit me in my face, man. He lit my face up. And it just made me gain more respect for boxing. But my career lasted about a week.
It was done.
Yes.
Yes. It's a
Yeah,
hard.
Shane, if you still out there, bro, I remember that.
You the man. If you are out there, you need to comment. Let me know you remember punching him in the face.
Shane,
Yeah.
you actually punched me in the face.
Correct.
And that's the truth.
Another true story. And you didn't deny getting punched in the face. Shit, people deny when they're act like they get punched in the face. Well, hey, I love you. I appreciate you. Love you all. Thank you for getting on. Thank you for supporting. Subscribe, like, share. It'll keep coming. It'll get even better. It'll stay real. So appreciate you, Cris Carter. See y'all.